Good morning and welcome to World of Sport Replay with your host, Peter Donegan.
And good morning everyone, welcome along to a big day of sport here on Channel 7. World of Sport Replay for the next hour, followed by World of Sport at 11 o'clock with Sandy Roberts. And then, of course, later on this afternoon, we go up to the White City Courts in Sydney for the New South Wales Open Final. And it's a replay of this year's US Open Final between Martina Navratilova and Hana Mandlikova. And both girls in great form, so it's going to be a great match. And hopefully you'll be able to stay with us and you'll see all the action live here on 7 this afternoon. We'll be taking a look at a rather sensational day's racing yesterday at Caulfield. Also harness racing from Moonee Valley last night and greyhound racing. A big week coming up with the TAA Melbourne Cup final at Sandown Park on Thursday night. But more of that in a moment. Let's go back to last night and check the Tats Lotto numbers as drawn here on 7. And it was draw number 453, over $1.39 million in the prize pool. And the numbers were 3, 6, 7, 15, 35 and 37, with the supplementary numbers 17 and 44. And in Super 66 last night, over $300,000 in that prize pool, and the numbers you needed were 3, 3, 88, 88. So the best of luck with Tats Lotto and Super 66 from last night. Hope those numbers are lucky for you and that you might have a bank to do a bit of punting this week. We'll take a break and be back to take a look at yesterday's program at Caulfield in just a moment.
From Barroom
Track for the 8-race card at Caulfield yesterday, featuring, of course, the running of the Eclipse Stakes, and it certainly was to turn out to be a fairly controversial day. In the first event, the Nursery Stakes, over 1,000 metres, the popular pick here was ROM'TIC Game at 3 to 1, and your commentator at Caulfield yesterday is Brian Martin.
They're racing this time. Alvaquero slow to begin. Santanity missed the start over towards the inside. Romantic Game away fast from the outside with Indian Game. Going up fast is ISAJAK up towards the lead now. Settling down Romantic Game, ISAJAK led from Whirl Around, and they're followed further back in the field coming down the side of the track here by Blue Checker. Back behind them by All Reports, and they're followed further out of its ground by State Edition. Well back in the field, they're beaten hopelessly as Alvaquero from Mr. Moe. State Edition getting back now in the field. Over along the inside, then Arctic Pell, and they're well clear there of Devon Duke nearing the turn. Well out of it there on the home bend came Dapper Des about third last from Santanity, and last of all is Star Zip. In the straight they race, and over on the inside the leader here is ISAJAK being tackled by Romantic Game with 200 to go. They're clear of Whirl Around, and then further back in the field by All Reports the other straggling. Romantic Game can't get to ISAJAK. ISAJAK is kicked away from Romantic Game, and by All Reports gets to third from Mr. Moe, but ISAJAK's 2 good wins at 2 lengths on the run home. Romantic Game second, 2.5 away third is by All Reports from Mr. Moe. Then Whirl Around, further back then up on the outside came Blue Checker. A gap in the field further back to Devon Duke, and they're followed at the head of the others by Arctic Pell. Never a Chance was Duke Abbey, well back State Edition. They're followed by Indian Game. Centenarity further back in the field, followed by just pulling up Dapper Des, and one of the last in the race is Star Zip.
Good win to the first starter, ISAJAK at 7 to 1, Romantic Game second, the 3 to 1 favourite, and third was by All Reports at 12 to 1. In the second, the Pelham Handicap over 1,400, the favourite here, TAVROS at 2 to 1.
Ready to go, the light is on, they're racing this time. Ken's Son was slow to begin. Alien began fast over on the inside, and it's going to try and hold the lead, Alien, although they're starting to pressure it for the front running. Nascaro going up quickly up towards the lead when they go to the 1,250 metre mark. Braquillo around the outside, Alien's on the fence, and they're followed further back in the field just behind them by Bell Bay. Tavros is handy now up towards the lead with Ciro's Boy. Settling down, 1,000 to go now, Nascaro led. About a length in front now, and second placing over on the inside, Alien. On our selection out wide around Braquillo from Ciro's Boy, 2 to Tavros. Then Juddon Lodger racing wide from Twiglander, a length further back in the field, PHAROSTAN. 2 lengths to Tamworth over on the inside, Tilbury Temptation. 3 to My Regard, Kenson. Red Opaque brought up the rear. 750 metres to go. Nascaro about 3/4 Braquillo. They're followed by Alien third from On Our Selection, Ciro's Boy, and they're followed by Tavros. Around the outside goes PHAROSTAN starting to run on. Tavros under pressure and looking for a run. And then further back, Juddon Lodger a gap to Bell Bay. PHAROSTAN out very wide, come with a long run to to go up and tackle Nascaro when they turn. TAVROS trying to get a run with 300 to go. In the straight, and Alien back on the fence, running down to the 200 though, and PHAROSTAN raced up to grab the lead from Nascaro. Then Alien further back. TAVROS gets to the outside, but Gauchi went for home on PHAROSTAN, kicked away, and is home. Raced 3 lengths in front of TAVROS, Alien, and Nascaro, and PHAROSTAN an easy winner. PHAROSTAN about 3 lengths to TAVROS. 2 lengths away, third is Alien from Nascaro, Judd and Lodger on our selection. Tamwara, Red Opaque, and then further back in the field, My Regard. Then Ciro's Boy, Tilbury Temptation, Ken Sun, Braquillo. Well back in the field, Bell Bay and Twiglander brought up the rear.
Pretty impressive win by PHAROSTAN at 5-2, and Darren Gauchi taking out the money in the second from the favourite TAVROS at 2s and Alien third at 14-1. The Iolo Welter was the third race, 1600 the journey, and the popular pick was Sapphire Lad at 11-4.
Came in a good line too. Sports Ruler began well on the inside of Narako. Sapphire Lad began fairly well, and further out is Lighthouse Watson. Around the outside of the fields, making some quick ground towards the front, running now as Adrian's Pride when they settle down. Cardi Star just back off the pace, and then Sterling Taros from Arrow's Tip, further back Total Band. Civitas racing out a little wide, back behind them Christmas Paper, and Grecian Pirate brought up the rear. 1250 metres to go, and the leader is Lighthouse Watson over on the inside. He got the front and led by a length to Sapphire Lad, is now easing. They're followed on the outside by Adrian's Pride. Further back in the field, then fourth Narako, a length then to Sports Ruler back on the rail from Cardi Star. Then Civitas, Sterling Taros as they drop the speed from Total Band. Well back out of its ground, Arrows Tip and Grecian Pirate last of all. Running to the 850 metre mark, and the leader is Lighthouse Watson, about 3/4 of a length in front of Adrian's Pride. 3 lengths further back then came Sapphire Lad on the inside of Cardi Star, Narako dropping out. Civitas to the outside from Sports Ruler, Total Band, 2 to Christmas Paper, Sterling Taros, Grecian Pirate. Arrows Tip brought up the rear. They run up with about 500 metres to go. The leader Lighthouse Watson about 3/4 in front of Adrian's Pride. Sapphire Lad pulled to the outside, is coming home well, and they're followed by Sports Ruler out deep. They've got away from the others, Cardi Star, and further back Total Band, Civitas. In the straight, the leader Lighthouse Watson. Sapphire Lad grabbed it, but Sports Ruler came at them quickly now. Sports Ruler's raced up to make a line of 3, shot to the front now, the top weight. He got away now. Sapphire Lad is starting to battle on from Lighthouse Watson, but Sports Ruler with Trelaw riding hards in front of Sapphire Lad, and Sports Ruler races on to win by a length. Sapphire Lad second, a length and a quarter third is Lighthouse Watson, a gap to Sterling Taros. Total Band never a chance, and further back Narako, a gap to Adrian's Pride, Arrow's Tip. Then further back in the field, Civitas, Grecian's Pirate, Christmas Paper, Cardi Star the last one in.
Pretty impressive win by Sports Ruler at 3-1. The top weight too good for Sapphire Lad, the 11-4 favourite, with Lighthouse Watson in third place at 7-2. In the Ascot Handicap, the fourth race, first leg of the quadrella, over 2,000 metres, the favourite was Lady Padroog at 7-2.
They're racing this time. Land Army Slater begin. Christmas Hamper, Warene away quickly with Ennis Vale, Lady French Desire, Mochapan, Bell in flight. Stop Snoozing dropping behind them, and Orgwin Fleur quickly went around the outside, settling down. Better Chloe going up into a forward position. They're followed by Quick Fire out wide from Lady Padroog, and then All Flower. Further back in the field then came Lady Ivel. Pearlex second last, Land Army brought up the rear. Racing up the side, about 1,500 metres to go, and the leader Orgwin Fleur, a length and a half, French Desire, a length further back, Christmas Hamper. Then Better Chloe running up fourth. Quick Fire 3 deep, a length further back, Warene. On the outside of it, Mochapan from Lady Padroog out 3 deep, 2 to Ennis Vale Lady, and then further back, Bell in flight. Then Stop Snoozing from All Flower, 2 further back, Lady Ivel, Pearleg, and Land Army brought up the rear. On top of the hill, 1250 out, the leader Norgwin Fleur. French Desire went up on the outside to join it, 3 lengths further back, Christmas Hamper, a half to Quick Fire. 2 lengths further back, Better Chloe. On the inside, Warene, a length, Lady Padroog. Around the outside of Mochapan. Then All Flower, Bell in flight. Further back in the field, then came Stop Snoozing. Back behind them, then Ennis Vale Lady coming down the side as they string out now from Pearlek, and Land Army dropped to the tail of the field. About 850 out, French Desire kicked away in front, led 4 lengths now to Norgwin Fleur. 2 or 3 further back, then Christmas Hamper from Warene, Lady Padroog, and then Quick Fire, followed further back by Better Chloe, Bell in flight. Then Mochapan hard ridden from Stop Snoozing, Ennis Vale Lady, All Flower. Further back in the field, Pearlek. Well out of the field, Lady Iveland. Last of all is Land Army. They run to the turn. French Desire coming back about a length in front. Warene went up in the centre to tackle it. Further out is Lady Padroog, and then Norgwin Fleur from Christmas Hamper. On the bend they race now. Warene went to French Desire from Lady Padroog, and then further back Norgwin Fleur. Stop Snoozing. Christmas Hamper back on the inside. 200 to go. Warene moved up on the outside of Christmas Hamper. They're 3 lengths in front of Lady Padroog and French Desire. Warene the outside. Christmas Hamper the rail. Warene's got a head in front now from Christmas Hamper. Trevina riding for dear life. Warene takes the lead. Christmas Hamper kicking again. Warene in front near the line. She's one of the nose on the post. first. 2 Christmas Hamper, 4 lengths away third. Is Stop Snoozing. They're followed further back by Mocapan. Then French Desire, Better Chloe, back behind the field. Perlek from Quickfire. Well back was All Flower, then Dorgwin Fleur, Lady Padrug, Innisvale Lady, then Land Army. Well out of it, Lady Ivel, and last of all is Bell in Flight.
Well, you've seen him many times as a commentator here on Channel 7, but in his more familiar role, great to see Alan Trevina back in the winners list at Caulfield yesterday on Warene at 5-1, Christmas Hamper 7, Stop Snoozing at 12s, and the favourite Lady Padrug finishing in the centre of the field at 7-2. The main event yesterday at Caulfield, the Eclipse Stakes over 2,000 metres, and the favourite was So Vague at 13-4.
They're racing. Over along the inside, Nondescript began well. Carlisle Ben, one of the best to begin from So Vague. Way and Rock and Anchor are dropping out. Mrs. Fitzherbert further out, and Cup Tie goes around the outside. Clears the field comfortably. Cup Tie and leads 2 lengths, settling down now to O'Johnny. They're followed further back in the field now by Mrs. Fitzherbert. A little wide there is Sir Zephyr back on the inside. Then came Carlisle Ben. Around them goes Wise Call as they slow up in front. Nondescript back about 7th on the outside of So Vague. 2 lengths to Bandy Legs, a length and a half aiming, 3/4 Anchor of the rail. 2 lengths to Way and Rock, who's back with Desperate Sweep. They've got 1,400 metres to go, and Sir Zephyr went to the front. Sir Zephyr the leader now, led by a length and a half in second placing O'Johnny. Cup Tie has ridden back on the fence third today from Wise Call 3 deep around the outside and pulling. A length into Mrs. Fitzherbert, followed by Carlisle Ben. Then came So Vague working away from the fence, Nondescript in front of it. 2 lengths to Way and Rock, Bandy Legs, and then aiming. Then Desperate Sweep and 2 to Anchor, who brought up the rear, and there's about 15 lengths from first to last. At the 1,000-metre mark now, and the leader is Sir Zephyr, about a length in front of O'Johnny. Wise Call on the outside, a half away from Nondescript out 4 deep. Cup Tie back on the fence from Way and Rock around the outside of So Vague, and they're followed by Carlisle Ben. Desperate Sweep pulled around Bandy Legs, and they're starting to bunch up with Anchor starting to take off. About 5 lengths covering the field, 700 metres to go. O'Johnny went up to Sir Zephyr. Wise Call came at O'Johnny, further back in the field. Anchor from last with a long run around the outside from So Vague and Mrs. Fitzherbert. They're trying to get out and back on the inside. Cup Tie. On the bend they race, 500 metres to go. Nondescript going up to Sir Zephyr from O'Johnny. Anchor is very wide on the track, and they're followed by Wise Call. So Vague with nowhere to go, and then Carlisle Ben trying to get out. In the straight, 300 to go. Sir Zephyr in front. Mrs. Fitzherbert gets out now. She's going out after the leader. Carlisle Ben trying to get clear, and here's So Vague with a late run. 200 metres to go and aiming, flying home, but So Vague has raced to the front. So Vague in front of aiming and Mrs. Fitzherbert, and it's So Vague. So Vague for the Eclipse by 3/4 to aiming. 2 lengths third is Mrs. Fitzherbert from Carlisle Ben. Then further back was Anchor, a gap then to Sir Zephyr, followed by Cup Tie, Bandy Legs. Well back on the field, Nondescript on the outside of it, Way and Rock, and then came O'Johnny. Further back, Desperate Sweep, and tailed off is Wise Call.
First leg of a winning double for rider Michael Clark yesterday. So Vague, the 13-4 favourite, taking out the Eclipse from aiming at 4-1 and Mrs. Fitzherbert at 10-1. Well, the sensation of the day occurred in race 6, the Chirnside Stakes, when Rory's Jester appeared to gain an unfair advantage. And I'll just read the steward's report. Mr. D. McClure, the starter, notified the stewards that as he was pressing the button to release the field, Rory's Jester broke through the starting gate and, in his opinion, gained an unfair advantage at the start. Mr. McClure then signalled a false start, and most of the horses were reined in with the exception of Miner's Man and Martek, who bolted, and they were taken out by the stewards, and then the race was rerun. There was to be one of the loudest and longest demonstrations seen on a Melbourne track for a long time after the race, and I think it had a lot to do with the fact that the rank outsider of the field won the race. But Rory's Jester was the favourite at 10-9 on.
And they're racing this time. Away they go, and Seeger and Rory's Jester began fast with Mr. Magic and Richfield's Lad. Lakeworth towards the outside has jumped away with them, and behind them Bullion Breaker when they settle down. Racing after 200 or 300 metres now and going fast, Baptise, and the bandages now went up on the outside of Richfield's Lad to be in front. Baptise the outside on Richfield's Lad, about a length and a half Mr. Magic. A half length further back Rory's Jester from Seeger, and 2 lengths further back Bullion Broker, and Lakeworth back at the rear. It's Baptise in front as they go to the 650 by a length and a half. Second placing Richfield's Lad, a half to Mr. Magic, a length further back then came on the outside Rory's Jester, and there 2 in front of Seeger, Bullion Breaker, and 2 lengths to Lakeworth last of all. On the bend, 450 metres to go, and Baptise about a length in front of Richfield's Lad, and now pulled to the outside Rory's Jester, further back Mr. Magic when they turn from Seeger and Bullion Broker. In the straight, 300 to go, Baptise about 3/4 in front. Rory's Jester asked to run on the outside, coming after him from Lakeworth and Richfield's Lad. Back on the inside, Baptise in front, 200 to go, Lakeworth on the outside, and Rory's Jester and Bullion Broker finishing quickly. Lakeworth has grabbed the lead with about 50 metres to go and a boil over win. Lakeworth's going to get up and win. Lakeworth has won on the line a length to Bullion Broker. Mr. Magic might have poked through to get third ahead of Rory's Jester. They're followed by Baptise, Richfield's Lad and Seeger, the last one home.
Well, punters weren't happy, but the stewards were satisfied. Lakeworth at 50 to 1, a big boil over, as Brian Martin said. Bullion Broker 9s, Mr. Magic 9s, and Rory's Jester, the favourite, unplaced at 10 to 9 on running 4th. In the Sweetnell handicap, the last leg of the quadrennial race 7, the favourite Water Show at 9 to 2.
Racing. Broken a very good line too. Wide out car began fast and away quickly Pugnacity, showing speed as Pocono Pearl. Now Century Waltz is going up towards the lead when they settle into stride, and they're followed by Water Show just behind them. Pugnose is starting to drive up on the inside from Amanda Pink, Goodwood Lady, and then further back was Golden Treese. Then further back in the field, metre by metre, followed on the outside by Love in the Clouds, True Verdict. Back behind them, Pugnacity, Nan Crest, Star of Cassitas, Tutor Brugalino, and 4 lengths last of all, Chelsea Street. 550 metres to go. It's a great race for the lead. There are 3 in line now. Pocono Pearl, Century Waltz. Over on the inside is Pugnose. They're a length and a half. Water Show and Golden Trees travelling well. About 2 lengths further back in the field, Amanda Pink, followed by Goodwood Lady. Back on the inside, True Verdict, and they're clear. Further back in the field, the Love in the Clouds when they make the bend. In the straight, they fan across the track now. Century Waltz in front. True Verdict gets out to tackle it with Golden Trees, and Water Show joins in. Water Show's raced up to grab them now at the 200 metre mark from Century Waltz. Fighting on back on the inside of Water Show still is True Verdict, and here down the outsides, Come Tell with a late run. Water Show, True Verdict, Come Tell flying to them. It's a great go to the line. It might be Water Show, a nose to Come Tell, and True Verdict on the inside. 3 of them across the track. Further back, Pugnacity came home well. Then further back is Golden Treese, followed by Love in the Clouds from Carr. Back behind them, Brugalino, Century Waltz. Then Nancrest, Goodwood Lady, Star of Cassitas, Amanda Pink. Well back was Pugnose from Pocono Pearl, metre by metre, and Chelsea Street, the last one in.
Come Tell got there at 40 to 1 by a short half head and would have been unlucky had she been beaten. She was unbalanced about the 200. Water Show, the favourite second, caught in the last top at 9 to 2, and True Verdict third at 10 to 1. In the last race on the program, the the Swell Time handicap over 1100, El Sari was the favourite at 7 to 2.
They're racing. El Sari towards the centre began well. Savelli a bit later begin down on the inside. Coals of Fire away, running towards the outside. Led going fast, Karabaha from Stratosphere. Driving up on the inside, Stylish Wish. It's gone straight through to lead now from Team of Joy, Karabaha, El Sari. Savelli getting up on the inside, and then further back, Thorpe and A from Stratosphere, Coals of Fire. Back behind them, Grecian Pearl, and back on the inside, Astalfina, Priam's Lass. Then Maybole Miss, and 4 lengths further back. The others are struggling at the moment. Lady Patch is well out of it, followed further back by Call Me Sarah. Then came Quinton Lass, Disco Maiden, Parade of Stars, Blue Grotto. On the bend they race 450 out. Stylish Wish about 3/4 in front of Team of Joy, the outside. Pull to the outside, El Cerise travelled up quickly to join them now from Savelli, and then Karabaha in the straight 250 out. El Cerise raced up to tackle Stylish Wish, and Karabaha joining in on the outside. Karabaha, Stylish Wish on the inside from El Cerise, and then Thorpe and A. Karabaha out in the centre has raced to the front, the top weight, and she's coming away now, Karabaha from Stylish Wish. Flashing home late is Lady Patch, but Karabaha too good. 3 lengths Stylish Wish. Lady Patch has got up to run third wide out ahead of Savelli. El Cerise weakened on its run, and then further back Blue Grotto from Thorpe and A, Disco Maiden, Maybole Miss, Priam's Lass, Astalfina, Call Me Sarah, followed by Quinton Lass, Parade of Stars. Then Stratosphere, further back Grecian Pearl, Coals of Fire, Team of Joy, the last one in.
Most consistent mare Karabaha 11 to 2, taking out the final event from Stylish Wish at 16s, Lady Patch 25s, and El Cerise the favourite unplaced at 7 to 2. Let's check the doubles yesterday from around Australia. The extra at Caulfield, a pair of 3s 15.20, daily double 1 and 15 147.95, and the quadrella on 3, 1, 2 and 4 $5,451.95. In Sydney yesterday, the extra 6 and 12 38.95, daily double on 5 and 3 7.65. In Adelaide, the extra double 9 and 10 37.80, and the daily double on 6 and 4 23.20. Provincial racing yesterday at Werribee, 11 and 6 the extra 264.95, daily double 1 and 5 16.20, and the quadrella on 1, 8, 5 and 6 $3,891.50. So that was the story yesterday of racing at Caulfield. We'll be back to take a look at greyhound racing, incorporating a couple of the semi-finals of the Melbourne Cup from Sandown Park after this break.